So yeah, I'm kind of interested. I'm reading this book now called "The End of Mental Illness." It's a very presumptuous title.
Maybe.
But
what are you talking about?
And it has this element of sort of scientific reductionism, which I'm always sort of weary of. Which the main argument so far is that mental health is really about brain health. He doesn't even like this idea of mental illness as a descriptor or a label you put on somebody. You have this illness, you have this illness. He's talking about brain health and the ways in which poor brain health leads to poor mental health outcomes. And for sure, on some level, that's true. And there's a lot more of the book I have to get through. But one of the things he mentioned as these risk factors for poor brain health, which he then sees as poor mental health issues. Mm-hmm. The bright side being, if you can get your brain health up, you can positively impact your mental health struggles. We talked about all these risk factors. Poor diet, obesity, drug use, inflammation, and childhood head injuries. And this is something that's really interesting. A lot of in the true crime world, a lot of serial killers and stuff, they'll have one of three things. They bedwetted long into their childhood and even into their adolescence. They had a fascination with fire at a young age, or they suffered a traumatic head injury at a young age.
You know what's funny? It's called the something triad.
Yeah, the dark triad.
But the thing is that actually what I knew it to be is that third thing was the harming or mutilation of animals.
Maybe I'm mixing one up or something like that.
Yeah.
But head injury is definitely in there.
Well, the head injury I think should be put in there. Maybe it could be a dark quadrant.
Ooh, nice. But I'm very curious if you've had head injuries, and then I look back over my own life, and I've had brutal ones.
Yeah.
My most brutal head injury was
You were getting head, and this girl just
Let's get it
down on it. Got him.
God, he got me so good.
What?
Well, I was 10 years old. Okay, here's a tangent. I had a head injury at 10 years old. I'm listening to this book, The End of Mental Illness. When I was a kid, I had this weird fascination with the idea that I was Abraham Lincoln reincarnated.
What?
Dude, I don't know.
I
don't believe it. I don't believe it. But it's just a childhood thing that every time I saw a picture of Abraham Lincoln, I realized his birthday was very close to my birthday.
It wasn't even the exact same
date. It doesn't matter, Dave. It's not rational. God. I'm telling you, as a child, I had this impulse, this intuition.
Guess what? I'm the reincarnation of John Wilkes Booth.
You notice how everybody's a reincarnation of cool, famous people, and there's never a peasant from the 1300s?
Yeah, or the reincarnation of just a homeless guy from 1979.
Absolutely. Which you definitely are.
I live in a dumpster.
But so anyways, I had this weird intuition. It's always stuck with me, and of course I know as an adult it's bullshit. Or is it?
It's definitely...
But I was reading this book, End of Mental Illness. They mentioned Abraham Lincoln struggling his entire life with clinical depression.
Yeah.
And they said he had a head injury at age 10. Coincidence? I think so.
I think his head injury, Lincoln have stinking thinking.
Not so good.
When he's drinking.
Okay, now it's getting better. But I think he got kicked in the head by a horse or some shit. So I was
didn't?
I'm like, okay, actually, I am reincarnated Abraham Lincoln. But my 10-year-old head injury was I was on a zip line at my stepdad and my mom were there with their friends who had a cabin out in rural Nebraska. We'd go out there. They had this lake, and probably 50 yards up this hill from the lake, you climb up this tree, and there's a zip line that you hold on to. And, you go down into the water, you let go over the water, you fall in the water. There's this long string that falls down that when you get out of the water, you can grab the string and bring the zip line back up to the tree and do it again, right?
Right.
So I'm 10 years old, only me and my mom there. My mom is sunbathing across this small little lake. I'm on the other side to do the zip line because I was like, Mom, come watch me do it. So she's there and I'm doing it a couple times. And it's just us. Everybody else is back at the cabin, which is probably a 5-minute
cabin made of Lincoln logs.
Actually, yes. 5-minute walk back to the cabin. So we're sitting there, and I'm going, and I get up on the zip line, and I get ready to go. And obviously, you don't want to let go before you hit the water because it's a steep little hill down to this water, and so it's a good 15 feet at the peak before you get over the water. But I'm not dropping. I know to hold on, but that string that you grab to bring it back. That, unfortunately, got snagged on a nail sticking out of the tree.
What?
Yeah, so the rope's behind me. I grab onto the handlebar, standing up on this little step ladder onto this tree.
Yeah.
And so I go, and that rope is trailing behind me that I have to grab later. That gets snagged, wrapped around a nail sticking out of the tree. So it abruptly stopped the zip line, and I did like backwards, imagine the physics of that. You're going, bop. It just stops, and I flip, and I land on my fucking head. And on the ground, right? I didn't make it to the water. My mom freaks the fuck out. She, the quickest way is to swim across the little lake. It's not a huge fucking lake. But, she just jumps in the water, swims across the fucking lake, screaming, Breht, Breht, Breht. I'm completely knocked out. When she gets to me, she's like, your lips were blue.
Oh.
You're foaming at the mouth. Like she thought I was dead.
Probably ruined your top hat.
Okay, please, Dave.
I'm still going through
Have some grace. But so she starts screaming, obviously, screaming for help. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. There happens to be, this is for the ACAB crowd. One time a cop was good. There happens to be a cop, an off-duty police officer, down the bank fishing with his son.
Mm-hmm.
He hears the cries of my mom. So he runs over there. He has some basic emergency medical abilities, does CPR on me. And eventually I get to the point where I'm okay. They call the ambulance, but this is rural fucking Nebraska in the middle of fucking nowhere. And the ambulance isn't arriving. They don't know how to get there. This is before GPS, what was common,
Yeah.
This is like 1999, 2000, before the Twin Towers fell.
Pre 9/11.
Pre 9/11. So the ambulance couldn't get there. So like, God fucking damn it, we have to get him in the car. We have to drive him to the fucking ambulance. We have to drive him to the ER, which is a fucking long way away because you're in the middle of nowhere. So I come to. So, my mom runs back, screams, all the guys from the cabin run down. They all get around me. They all try to help me. The cop sort of brings me back to life. And so me and my sister, my mom and my stepdad get in the car, and they're taking me to the ER. I come to, but I'm out of it. I'm saying, it's the middle of summer. It's 4th of July, I think. And I was like saying, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to my sister.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, that's even worse. And just saying incoherent things that they kind of thought was like funny because I'm awake and I'm talking and I'm not in pain or in extremis and I'm in like a good bubbly mood, but I'm just incoherent. So like, that's a fucking deep, insane fucking head traumatic event. And then you add on top of that a concussion I got in a fist fight in high school, a concussion I got playing pee-wee football, and it just kind of piles up.
And how long ago was that? 7 years ago?
Yeah, roughly. So God damn it. So I had, those head injuries, and so I'm interested to get to that chapter on head injuries, and how you can sort of overcome them and get better brain health. I don't think that there's any one cause to my mental health issues. There's genetic components, there's childhood trauma components, emotional trauma. I mean, there's probably, some contributions from the head injuries thrown in there. But so I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. It happens more than you think, but I'm wondering on